You have to say about the raging controversy about the alleged recovery of cash from a judge's home. Now, Supreme Court yesterday said that the transfer was not related to it. The internal inquiry is on, and a report has been submitted to the CJI. So, how do you look at this whole issue?
First of all, that I, as a lawyer, and I don't speak as president of the Supreme Court Bar Association, we're out of the system. There is a procedure which is an in-house procedure which is dealing with the matter. Now, in the absence of facts, I don't think that as a responsible citizen of this country, I should be commenting on this.
Sir, recently in your tweet also you talked about how a judge has talked about a rape case, and then earlier Justice Yadav had made some objectionable comments. So, in light of that, some few days ago you had also made a statement in an interview that I had my head in shame while referring to the state of the judiciary. So, in light of these incidents, how do you see the state of the judiciary?
You see, what is happening over several years is that there have been concerns about the judiciary on various aspects. One is the concern about corruption, right? And corruption has several meanings. One meaning is that a judge renders a judgment because of some pecuniary advantage. That's one form of corruption. The other form of corruption is that the judge, contrary to his oath of office, what is his oath of office? That बिना पक्षपात के, बिना भेदभाव में अपने मैं फैसले करूँगा. Without fear or favor, I'll render my judgments. And if you notice in several of these cases, for example, I just give an example, that there is hardly a judge in the district court and the sessions court who grants bail. No, it can't be that in every case that comes before the court, whether it's the magistrate's court or the sessions court, he has to reject it. And if 95% of the cases, almost 99% of the cases, bail is rejected, then there is something wrong with the system. In other words, is he discharging his functions as a judge? Right? Is he afraid of something else? That in case he grants bail, what is the likely impact of that on himself, on his career? Possibility. Will he get a promotion? Will the powers that be who appointed him get angry with him? That's another peculiar form of, I don't call it corruption in the sense of quid pro quo, but a judge who is not really performing the functions of a judge, which he was designed to perform. That's another thing that's been happening over the years. The third form is that judges are now openly endorsing a majoritarian culture in this country, endorsing and taking political positions. You know, we had a judge in West Bengal who was openly endorsing the views of a particular party. And then, of course, he resigned, retired, and then joined that particular party. We had a judge who openly said, yes, I belong to the RSS. We have a Justice Shekhar who said that in India the majoritarian culture must prevail. It's only a Hindu that can make India a Vishwaguru. And use some very, very derogatory terms as far as the minority community is concerned, while sitting as a judge. So issues of corruption, issues of judges not performing their functions in accordance with their oath of office, issues of judges openly taking majoritarian positions, therefore and thereby in the minds of the public the message is that the majoritarian culture must be endorsed. Now, these are things that need to be addressed urgently. Unfortunately, in many of these cases, the Supreme Court has not really directly addressed these issues for reasons that I cannot possibly fathom. So unless we recognize that these are ailments that need to be corrected. There is the issue of corruption. What's the mechanism to deal with it? There is the issue of this majoritarian culture within the judiciary. What's the mechanism to deal with it? Who should deal with it? The only mechanism as far as the higher judiciary is concerned is Article 124(4) of the Constitution of India. You can impeach a judge, and you know that we moved an impeachment motion and signed by more than 50 members in the Rajya Sabha, and that's not seen the light of day. Right? There was earlier an impeachment motion that was moved against the Chief Justice of India. That too was blocked. So if you cannot move forward under a constitutional process, there is no alternative, effective mechanism to deal with these issues. Where do we go? That's the question that as citizens we must ask ourselves. That's the question that the judiciary must ask itself. And that's a very serious issue.
So as a senior member of the legal fraternity, are you concerned that judiciary as a whole is not able to discharge its duties in the manner it should?
No, the perception of the public, the perceptions of the public certainly is that the confidence that we had in the judicial system seems to be on the decline.
So you've talked about an overhaul of the system. You've been a critic of the Collegium system also.
Yes.
So, but what is the alternative way? What is the way forward according to you? Because when the government moves in, the opposition is also alleged that they've tried to encroach upon the judiciary. It was alleged that they were trying to encroach upon the powers of the judiciary. So what is the alternative way according to you?
The alternative can only be found if the judiciary believes that we should have an alternative. If the government believes that we should have an alternative. Now the government believes that the NGAC is the solution. Right? National Judicial Accountability Commission. The Supreme Court Collegium believes that that's the best system. Right? Now, unless both of these institutional mechanisms accept the fact that both versions of accountability and the process of appointment are not adequate, and in fact are grossly inadequate, then only we can have an alternative. If you do not accept that fact, unless you say there is a problem, there won't be a solution. So first you must publicly accept there is a problem, right? Then you move forward with a solution. So if the Supreme Court itself realizes that the collegium system is not functioning in the manner that it should, then only will there be alternatives. Then we can come forward and then suggest what the alternatives should be, right? If the government believes that maybe the NGAC is not the ideal solution for the process of appointment, which must be transparent, which must be looking at merit, which must not be favoring persons who are ideologically deeply committed, right? Unless the government accepts that, there will be no alternative. So both institutionally, the government and the judiciary institutionally must accept the fact that these systems that are in place are not working. Once they accept that, I think there are a lot of solutions that are possible.
So you pointed out that in the Rajya Sabha an impeachment motion was moved but it was blocked. So do you think that a tangible action should have come from the Supreme Court against Justice Yadav in the manner?
No, they decided on an in-house procedure. We never heard anything after that as to what happened, what steps were taken. There was a communication to the judge. He apparently had, disclosed his mind to the in-house procedure. I guess to the judges there. What happened, we don't know. Should this be made public, not be made public? These are systems that have to be put in place.
So what you're saying is that there needs to be more transparency.
What I need to say is you must accept the fact that these systems are not working. Then there'll be solutions that can be found.
So political topics, sir, the budget session is on right now. There is talk that the Waqf bill could be tabled after the report was submitted, the JPC report was submitted. So how do you look at it? There's been a vociferous opposition from Muslim organizations and the opposition against this bill. But you don't have the numbers. So in case it is passed, what is the option? Do you think it should be challenged in court?
It should or should not is not the question. First of all, let it be passed. Let's see what their coalition partners, are willing to do in this matter because they don't have majority. Let's see what their position is. There are elections that are coming in Bihar. And I think that if they introduce the bill, they may be worried as to what impact that might have in the election process in Bihar. So I don't know what the fallout of that is going to be. So let's wait and see. And of course, if the bill is passed, there are options available to those who wish to challenge it. And it has its own political implications.
So you're a leading opposition voice. Now, later on, it was said that India Bloc was formed for the national level, so it's okay to fight for state elections, but it was not good optics. So, what do you see the way forward is for the India Bloc? Do you think it needs to have a common agenda, at least on the national level, look more cohesive?
I think it should appear to be a bloc and not unblock itself in the manner that it does in the public domain. They need to have a cohesive policy, a cohesive ideological framework, a cohesive program for the future. And I'm not talking about at the state level or the national level. There has to be cohesiveness in the way in which it thinks on issues that are of great national importance. And unless that mechanism is put in place, and unless there are spokespersons of the bloc who represent the views of the India bloc, I don't think that this can move forward very effectively.
Sir, you rightly pointed out, even just before the election, you had said that there was a structure needed to be put in place. There had to be common spokespersons for the bloc. So, do you think that the India bloc should get together and have a structure in place, a political structure that could...
I've been saying this for a long time. Obviously, either it is not something that is palatable to somebody or the other, or they feel that this is not the appropriate time, but I can't possibly talk on behalf of the bloc.
Sir, but do you see a future for the India bloc? Do you think it can challenge it?
See, I see a future for the opposition. What form it takes, what structure it takes, we'll see.
So there's also, just last couple of questions, there is also a lot of concern over the delimitation issue. The Tamil Nadu CM also called a meeting about it. South Indian states have voiced their vociferous opposition to it. How do you look at this whole issue, especially in light that the census is also not taking place?
It has very serious implications on the polity of this country, and I think that's why Chief Minister Stalin has called a meeting, and a lot of representatives, including of the Congress, are participating in that meeting within the southern states. And it has impact on the future of our polity. But in any case, the condition is that unless a new census is done, the delimitation will not take place. We haven't done a new census since 2021 was not done. So where are we today? Unless there is a census. So first the census, then delimitation. So abhi Delhi durast.
Sir, you were the Minister for HRD, so there is also a row over the three-language formula, and also the accusation that the government wants to impose Hindi. How do you look at this issue?
Well, the three-language issue has about a million opinions, quite frankly. Anywhere you go in this country, you will have somebody having an opinion on the three-language formula. There are several states where Hindi is really not spoken as a language which is understood by the people. These are highly contentious issues. My request to all participants, in fact, the government, is to don't bring up contentious issues which do not deal with the problems of this country, which we are going to be confronted with in the 21st century. There are far greater issues which impact the future of our people than the three-language issue.
So my final question to you is that both the Congress and the TMC, the main opposition parties, have raised a lot of concern about the voters list and the sanctity of the voters list, and they've alleged that the Election Commission has not taken enough action to...
The Election Commission is a dysfunctional body. The Election Commission has not discharged its functions in accordance with its responsibilities. which expected of it under the Constitution. The Election Commission, as it stands today, is a failed institution. And there is no confidence in the large sections of the community of this country, of the people of this country, in the Election Commission. And therefore, the quicker we deal with this issue, the greater is the chance of saving democracy.
So what is your message to the opposition dealing with the electoral malpractices?
The message to the opposition is, apart from the EVM, there are some really serious issues which in fact suggest that the process of election in fact is polluted. The results that have come about may have been the result of manipulations at many levels. We need to address that issue together.